Hi there, it's Robert Jordan from Cat Full of Ghost Electronics. I have noticed that whilst I am blessed with a lot of very cool, weird, old video gear, there aren't that many high quality videos looking at these tools. And so I thought I'd just sit down, this one is quite well known, the Edirol V4, take a look at what it is, what it can do, have a bit of a play with it. I have behind me a whole rack of more exotic, lesser known video gear. But of course the Edirol V4 is a classic, so why not start with that? And we will definitely get into the infamous feedback part.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
So, what we are looking at here is the Edirol V4 4-channel video mixer from 2005. And of course, I have it in the DJ style setup. It's actually quite a straightforward machine for mixing together SD video signals. You can mix together two. You have two buses, an A bus and a B bus, and you are able to transition between those. Here I have blue on one side, that's just no signal. And over here, I have the camera you're seeing me through. And we're able to transition between these two videos. Mix, there's a couple of different wipes, there's some cool VFX. Don't know what that one is set to. There we go. I've got a bunch of different exciting, very early 2000s digital effects. So what has this video mixer got in it? What are the features? What's it got? What does it do? Well, like I said, 2004, 2005 I think was the first release date. It's been superseded by two video mixers, the V4EX, which is the same but with some added features. It's got computer input, so VGA, and then the V8, an 8-channel version, super straightforward. You get 4 video inputs. These are of course composite. Around the back we've got 2 S video inputs. It's got MIDI control, very nice. We get a preview out, which if I switch over to, gives us the ability to preview our incoming signals. I only have one here, the camera at the moment. Also preview our output, and we can see all of our settings on the preview. So, watch the transition buttons go, we can see what effects we've assigned here. You'll notice that we have effects listed here, but it is possible to go into the menu, which I'm doing here, stepping through and changing what you would like those effects to be. 4 inputs, 2 outputs. These 2 outputs are the same. We also have the preview out, like I showed. We've got menus and controls. If you start it up holding 1 and out, it'll switch between PAL and NTSC. We've got a bunch of cool features like the BPM settings. I can tap BPM, I can change this, and these are of course related to BPM sync, which essentially moves the slider backwards and forwards in time with our BPM. It's pretty fun. Range of effects on both sides. Let's put myself over on this side. Strobe, that classic 80s frame reducer. Negative, got a couple of different negative modes for inverting our colors. Makes my teeth and lips look great. Colorize, oof. This is the false color setting, where it takes luminance levels and assigns them to colors. And multi, where we get to tile, or we get to tile a video. And of course, a lot of these can be used in concert. Over on Boss 2, we have a different range of effects. Of course, you could, in one of your presets, assign whatever you wanted over to here. But this was factory reset by me recently, so I've kind of kept it as is. We've got mirror. As I turn the control knob, I get a more and more mirror settings. I'm quite a fan of this quad 4-way. Chroma key. So now 4 is set to a background layer, so it'll blue. There we go. And we're locked in on my, do a bit of colorize there so we can change the color. We're chroma keying out my face here. Very simple chroma keyer. Also have a luma key, which is the same thing, but it uses luminance. These are both super useful. I use these two all the time, and I will show you why in a minute. And picture in picture. Now, what is particularly exciting about this mixer, other than the fact that you can run your analog video sources in and, you know, effects them up. Let's do this and this and this, and we can do some this. Other than this fun stuff, is that it's actually, if I can snag the cable, quite good at video feedback. So what I'm doing here is taking my second output here, and I'm going to run it back in to one of my inputs. This is similar to the way audio feedback works, a time delay and a cycle, and it begins to build upon itself. So if I just take off the effects, switch to 4, you'll see this cool kind of bleed out. We jump back, take that off. So now we're seeing 100% of the feedback. And you'll notice it fades to white pretty quick. And everything kind of slides upwards. That is to do with the way that scan lines work in analog video. You'll notice on the edges we're starting to get this flickering, very nice kind of stuff here, this blooming of colors. I'm a particularly big fan of. To aid in our feedback, we have this. So this knob lets me fade to white, fade to black. And so if you've ever used a delay pedal, you will know the more audio that you push through, the sooner it's gonna kind of overload and you're starting that crispy, harsh distortion. In our case, that mostly gives us this kind of burnt out white. But we are not just limited to that, because we can do fun things like luma key here with our feedback layer underneath. You can see the edges of the dark edges of my hand create these kind of looping, repeating things. And of course, now I can affect the feedback layer. And so this is a particular love of mine, which is the feedback layer with the invert turned on. Luma key, feedback layer with invert, which gives you these lovely repeating and so of course, in this example, we have just been using this camera of my face. But as with all video gear, what do you set to? Set to PAL. It's kind of the more the merrier. So let's hook up this prototype video synthesizer of mine. Make sure it's in a good setting that I like. Perfect. Yeah. So I'm gonna remember how to use this first.
2 hours later.
So what you're seeing here is this white layer here is the video synth directly, background layer is both colorize and multiply. And by pressing clear or invert, because of the way this whole kind of feedback system is set up, I'm able to get these quite expressive patterns from something, you know, literally so simple. So there we go. That was a nice quick look at the Edirol V4. This one's a little long in the tooth. Had it since 2007, 2008 maybe. Been all around the country. I've never had any serious problems with them. I've seen some people get them modded by BPMC. I don't know. I kind of love this one kind of as is, so I feel a bit reticent to get it modded, as nice as that might be. But thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you found this slightly newer, slightly higher quality than most video on the Edirol V4 useful for your VJing, your lo-fi video art, whatever kind of cool, weird stuff that you're doing. I think maybe around 300, 350 US. Quite expensive when they first came out, but now relatively cheap and just feature packed in a way that a lot of other stuff just really isn't. So thanks for tuning in. See ya.